last Great League start. Are you feeling even more excited now?
Yeah, it's starting to set in for sure. We got the season's upon us. I thought we had a great spring training. I think we're in a great position to do what we set out to do, and yeah, I mean it's always fun to get here and just the moment that you worked with for all off season, spring training to here, and time to just go compete now.
Clay, I know you spent all of spring training getting used to being a starting pitcher again, but going out to take the mound to start a game on opening day is going to be quite a, I don't know if shock to the system is the way to put it, but how do you think it's going to feel a lot different once you get put on that stage?
I'm sure a little bit, definitely, but I think once you get out of the mound and you feel the game speed and you see the batter in the box, it's back to kind of what we know how to do. But I think before, definitely try to enjoy the moment and just soak it in for a second, and then it's time to get to work.
When you think about the bigger picture of what your season will look like, this transition, what is the biggest question you have right now about how this is going to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Personally, I'm very keeping this thing kind of short-sighted. For me, it's like, hey, let's get through 5 starts and evaluate where we're at, and you gotta get it at one start at a time. But sure it's fun to set big season goals, long goals, but especially this being so new, I feel like it's been a while since I've done this. It's a little bit uncharted. For me, there's been a few guys do it the past few years, but for me, it's like, hey, get through the start, see where we're at, see how we're feeling, see how things are testing, and put a plan for the next week and tackle the next start. It's one of those things. There's just going to be a lot of monitoring. I know I've said that before, but it's just monitor where we're at, see where the trends are going, and correct course when we need to, and hopefully be there for every start.
Did you talk to any of those guys who've made that conversion recently over the offseason or in the spring training?
Yeah, there's been conversations. Texting back and forth with King a little bit. Like I said, I worked out with Crochet a little bit this off season, and so a few conversations. Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody has their own set of challenges and things they need to accomplish, but just to hear their perspective and just kind of how the overall experience went for them. It's just good to see and just get to have that perspective. When you do kind of run into things, we might have questions. It's nice to have that in the back.
Any of those guys start opening day?
Yeah,
Crochet did.
a couple of them.
Yeah.
King is this year. King is this year.
Yeah, I mean this year both of
I
them.
know.
Did any of their any pieces of advice that they gave you stick? Anything stick out in terms of what Gary might have told you?
Yeah, I mean they're two kind of different pitchers a little bit how they approach the game. Garrett obviously has elite stuff. I mean King does too, but Garrett's like one of those things where he was just trusting his stuff. He kind of figured out the scouting stuff he needed to do in order to kind of turn lineups over and stuff as he kind of went. King's a little bit differently. I mean, even in the bullpen, he was writing down scouting reports and he approached the game from just a very tactical point of view, just always, even the pen. So I think that helped his transition. He didn't really have to do a whole lot more than what he's already doing in the pen. So it's one of those things you always have to know what you do well. Those things are always going to work. The reason why you're in the big leagues and get outs. It's just keeping your eyes open and being aware of what the game's telling you, things you need to change, usages that need to change, what's good, what's bad, and obviously get through lineups multiple times. I've expanded my arsenal a little bit, and have a lot of help around me to help navigate that too. But like I said, each person attacks the game differently, and that's what makes this game great. Is there's not one way to do it, but just to have multiple perspectives of people that have done it is always good to have.
When you were sitting in the bullpen with King at the Yankees and he was doing all those note taking, did you think, what is he doing, or why is he doing that, or do you think there was a reason for it? Do you think this might have been in his future?
No, he always wanted to be a starter. I think he knew that. People around him knew that. that was his goal. Versus me, I wouldn't sit down there hoping to be a starter one day. But that's also just kind of his personality, kind of what makes him really good. He's one of the most prepared pitchers there are. He does his homework and he has the things he believes in. So to answer your question, yeah, he wanted to be a starter and everybody knew it around him, I think.
How
Clay,
do you feel
you
right
came
now?
from an organization with massive expectations at this time every year. Does it feel like that here? From what you've experienced the past 6 weeks and now kind of on the eve of opening day?
Definitely. I mean, there's, you can feel the excitement for the Mets. I mean, there's definitely expectations. Sure, everybody knows, the payroll and the players we have here, the talent we have here, and there'll be things that come with that. But I think the most important part is just for me being here. You can feel how close people are in that locker room with the coaches, players, and there's expectations, sure, but there's a lot of accountability and expectations in the locker room too, and I think that's what makes this group great, is they're able to have fun, but there's a standard that's been trying to set here, and it's fun to be a part of that, and ultimately to go in the season knowing that you have a real shot to win the championship is what you want to play for, and I think we all feel that and know that, and I think it's a responsibility we're all excited to have.
How do you feel right now about the changeup and the cutter, and how did those pitches maybe evolve over the last 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think just I went into spring training knowing that they had a chance to be weapons, but once you actually start to get some outs with them, you can start to trust the contact a little bit more. It's more so you're throwing it knowing you can get an out versus kind of throwing it seeing what's going to happen type thing. And there's some confidence and trust that's built in that, and I think spring was able to do that for me, just to see get some swing and miss, get some outs with those pitches. We're good just to know that I have those and they're usable pitches that are really going to help me out this year.
Did any part of that surprise you? Like, was there a wonder coming in if those would be good, effective pitches for you?
I mean, yes and no. I think now more than ever, you can be a little bit more sure. You can track pitch metrics from release points, and you kind of know how things are projected to play, in the big leagues and expected stats and things. But until you actually, get the outs, there's always a little bit of element of, I won't say surprise, but let's find out, to kind of want that reassurance. And so I knew they had a chance to be good pitches, but like I said, there was a little bit of added confidence when you started to get outs with them in games.
With the Yankees last year, you guys started in Houston with a really nice series. What kind of tone can you set in an opening weekend series?
Yeah, I mean, that series felt like a playoff series from Series 1. I mean, I remember people talking about it afterwards saying, it was like there's no easing into the season. It was full bore, and I think that's good. It's a good little jump start. And I think it's it's what you sign up for. That's the baseball you want to play, whether it's in March, April, or October. I mean, you want these games to be exciting and to mean a lot, and I think just it shows you the focus and level of intensity you need to have to start playing with.
Clay, do you remember what the excitement was around Soto last year when you guys were here? Because he opened up with the huge series.
Huge series, yeah. I mean, it was, he can go through the whole year last year. It seems like there were a lot of eyes on Juan. Then obviously his first game as a Yankee, and he showed up, and it seems, I've said it. It seems like more people are watching. Juan shows up, and he had a huge series that year. I mean, that series, offensively, defensively, he made plays. It was fun to watch.
Does it seem any different now? Yes, last year he had the pressure of the contract. Now he's got also the pressure of the contract in a different way.
Man, there's always something. If you want to look externally, you can always find something to put pressure and see. But I think you've seen it time and time again. He's handled things, great. If anything, pressure kind of elevates him a little bit. So it doesn't seem any different to me. I don't think there's expect anything different from Juan.
Well, you closed out that game last year on Wednesday here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an interesting feeling. I mean, it feels, opening up here last year, it feels like, oh, we're deja vu doing this again, but there's a lot that's different at the same time. New team, new role starting this year, so it's cool. I mean, for me, I guess the biggest thing is just super grateful. I mean, it's one of those things where any opening day, I'll tell you, if you ask a lot of players, you just get a sense of just kind of gratitude. You realize that this is the big leagues, the job you're getting to do, the game you're getting to play, the fans you're getting to do it for. It just all becomes real, and I think for me to be able to just have this opportunity with the guys here and for this role, I mean, there's just another level of kind of gratitude for me. And I'm going to do this, play the game I love, and get to start. Something I've always wanted to do, and so just really grateful and excited to get this season going.
Thank you very much, Clay.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Clay.
Yeah.